This is NDTV and you are watching NDTV Prime.
There is a lot that's happening this week in the world of wheels, and we've got it covered for you right here on CNB Bazaar Buzz. Welcome to a brand new episode. I'm Siddharth Vinayak Partnkar. We'll start by showing you what's coming up. Two big launches in the market, the new generation of the Mini Countryman and the Mercedes-AMG E36S 4MATIC Plus. A very innovative vehicle that does duty at the Bengaluru Airport. And we've got not one but 6 SUVs together to help you figure out which one works best for you. So we'll kick things off with those new launches. Now there is again increased activity on the car side of things, especially because a lot of OEMs are now once again gearing up to address what's happening in the market. There is a demand for new products as always, and they're certainly not disappointing us. Now, a couple of cars that we've been talking about since about January this year, well, they're finally making their appearance here in India. The new Mini Countryman and the latest from AMG.
The all-new Mini Countryman has been launched in India and prices start from 34,90,000 rupees. Based on a completely new platform, the new Mini Countryman gets a host of design changes along with new gadgets. Available in 2 petrol trims, Cooper S and JCW, and 1 diesel trim, Cooper SD, the car underpins the BMW X1 and will be locally assembled at BMW's Chennai plant. The petrol is powered by a 2-litre 4-cylinder motor good enough for 189 brake horsepower and 280 Nm of peak torque. The diesel is also a 2-litre 4-cylinder unit making 188 brake horsepower and 400 Nm of torque.
Mini brands all over is about excitement, so we're going to add more excitement to our customers' life. More importantly, in terms of business, we see multiplying the volumes of Mini in India for sure.
The new generation Mini Countryman is based on a completely new design language and has been re-engineered ground up. Deliveries for the car will start from June this year. Mercedes-AMG has launched the E36S 4MATIC Plus sedan and prices start from 1,50,00,000 rupees. The E63S is the most powerful version of the E-Class and gets a new single slat grille, a new front bumper housing, slightly larger air intakes and a sporty exhaust setup at the rear. The wheel arches are a little more than half an inch wider than on the standard car, and you also get matte black AMG 20-inch alloy wheels. The E63S gets a 4-litre V8 which churns out 603 brake horsepower and 850 Nm of peak torque. 0 to 100 km per hour is done in just 3.4 seconds, and yes, drift mode is part of standard equipment. The car will come to India as a completely built unit.
New metal, always exciting, and there's going to be even more coming next week, so look out for that. Now let's talk about those 6 SUVs. That's right, 6 of them that we are bunching together, not because they are necessarily rivals, but because those are the kind of cars that you would consider if you were looking to buy yourself a premium SUV. So 25 to 35 lakh rupee price bracket, here's everything that you have as options in that space. The fact that Indians like their SUVs is no longer a doubt, with an increase in awareness, availability of new models, and a rise in purchasing power. The SUV market in India is witnessing a boom of sorts. And today we have with us not 1, not 2, but 6 of these burly SUVs, which belong in the price bracket of 25 to 35 lakh rupees. Yes, 6 is a big number, but then bigger is always better, right? So 25 to 35 lakhs, thereabouts, give or take a few, and you can see the absolute wide variety of SUVs on offer. Now, very often, a lot of buyers, well, you know what, they try and compare apples to apples and sometimes apples to oranges, and that's what's happening in this space
which is why we're here to try and clear up some of those doubts. So you firstly understand what it is that you're looking for, what it is that you need, and then make an informed choice.
Let's go up the price ladder, shall we? We have the smallest of this lot, the muscular Jeep Compass, in its top spec variant, priced at 25 lakh rupees. It's no surprise that the Compass has become one of the popular SUVs on Indian roads today. Along with the competitive pricing, Jeep has also thrown in a good measure of performance and practicality on the Compass. And it has superb ride quality. It's also our reigning NDTV Car of the Year 2018.
Now you might think that the Compass doesn't belong in this pack because, hey, it's supposed to compete with the Hexa and the XUV 500. Well, that's why we only have the top-end version here. It's either the top-end petrol automatic or, of course, the top-end diesel 4x4. So we're considering cars that are closer to that 25 lakh mark.
So the Compass and the Volkswagen Tiguan do match up in terms of pricing and performance. In typical VW style, the Tiguan has a sharp design language and performance too, with a nice swell of torque coming in from 1900 RPM. There's a little bit of turbo lag, but it disappears as you work your way through the gears. Both SUVs get a bunch of features. Most noticeable, the Jeep's Select Terrain system and the Tiguan's Off-Road Mode Selector, which are kind of similar. The Compass edges the Tiguan on ride and handling and also on steering precision.
So Volkswagen and frankly sister company Skoda, with their sister cars, they remember the same platform vehicles, need to start to take a nice long hard look at where the market is and what the buyer really wants. And which is why on both the Tiguan and on the Kodiaq we desperately need slightly lower placed variants. Now they don't have to be stripped down, they could still be reasonably good in terms of feature, but certainly we need to go down on the price ladder for both of them to become more significant.
So from the Volkswagen Tiguan, we move on to the more premium Skoda Kodiaq and the BMW X1. The Tiguan and the Kodiaq share their diesel engine as well as their platform. So power and torque figures are similar, as is the gearbox. The Skoda decidedly feels a lot more premium. Its fit and finish is also immaculate. The Kodiaq comes in a 7-seater variant, whereas the Tiguan gets 5 seats only. Like all other Skodas, the Kodiaq too is well built, safe and engaging to drive. And it keeps its occupants wrapped up in utmost comfort and safety. Loaded with features, the Kodiaq at just over 34 lakh rupees ex-showroom and nearly 40 lakh on road is still within touching distance of the BMW X1.
Well, as you come to the X1 though, you start veering into the more expensive set, which is why those two cars are more comparable. But the X1 and the Kodiaq, in terms of price, start to get more comparable. But then, are we simply talking about price? No.
Now the BMW X1 is smaller and traditionally it's been the entry premium SUV. But prices have inched upwards over the years. Now in its second generation, the top spec model gets well over 40 lakh rupees, making this the most expensive SUV in today's comparison. BMW has given the X1 a long list of features and a capable 2-litre diesel engine that makes 190 horses along with 400 Newton meters of peak torque. The power to the wheels is fed via an 8-speed automatic gearbox. BMW cars are a pleasure to drive and the X1 is no different. The suspension is tuned for comfort and offers a plush ride while still being easy to weave around in traffic. So finally we come to the two hulks in the group, the Ford Endeavour and the Toyota Fortuner. Now these two are the quintessential big, butch and burly SUVs, and whenever you think of SUVs in India, inevitably it's these two that come to mind.
So the two full-sizers, 3-row seating and 4-wheel drive as options, lots of different variants, and certainly the ones to go off-roading in.
The Skoda Kodiaq, the Volkswagen Tiguan and the BMW X1 are more of soft roaders rather than off-roaders. The Compass, with its compact size but the optional 4-wheel drive, is an off-roader too. But if it is heavy-duty off-roading that you're looking at, well, it's got to be the Endeavour or the Fortuner. Now the Endeavour gets two diesel engines, a 2.2-litre unit and a 3.2-litre one. Needless to say, the 3.2 is the more powerful engine, making just under 200 brake horsepower, and it has a massive amount of torque, 400 Nm. The Fortuner in comparison gets a 2.7 petrol or 2.8-litre diesel engine. The Fortuner also gets both manual and automatic transmission options. Coming to the drive and the features, the Endeavour does have a touch more equipment than the Fortuner, while the Fortuner is smoother and has a refined engine. It feels a little better engineered, but the ND is better to drive and has better ride quality. So between these two, our choice has always been the Ford Endeavour. And so here we are with 6 of the best premium SUVs that India has. As I said earlier, in some cases it is an apples to apples comparison, while in some it's apples to oranges. Now the point I'm trying to make is that with so many options in the premium SUV space, it's important for you to give a thought on exactly what you want from your SUV. So if it is occasional off-roading and you have a small family, well, the Compass really works for you. If you want to go high-end and yet not flashy, and you want all the creature comforts, the features and the drive dynamics, the Kodiaq serves your purpose. But if you do have a big family, maybe a pet, and also love to off-road, then you've got to edge towards the Ford Endeavour. Alright, so which one's your favorite? We certainly told you what we think works best in that space. You can send your feedback to me and react to that story and everything else you've seen so far. But stay tuned because we've of course got a lot more coming up as well. Keep watching.